for discussion. and this week we delve into how do we bring more first timers into the sport, and we can look at this in two ways: either as a spectator getting into the sport, or as a driver getting onto the track for the first time. So I don't know who wants to go first on this one.
Well, I obviously came to Aldershot Sunday, and a guy from work actually brought his girlfriend, who works for Lotus and has obviously been circuit racing many, many times. She had never, ever been to a stock car banger meeting ever in her life. And she came to Aldershot Sunday, and she could not believe what she had seen. She absolutely loved it. So I think it's more a case of a lot of it comes through word of mouth from other people who go racing.
Yeah, and like you say, I think Aldershot is a good starting point, because even though, to be fair, it is quite an expensive track to visit first time, I think Aldershot is one of the most family-friendly tracks, I would say, compared to a lot of others. I don't know what you think on that.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I think due to its start time, the fact everyone's quite close to the track, it's sort of it's a little bit less formal. You feel more involved. It's definitely a great first track to visit.
Yeah, and it's not, because I feel that with certain, I'm not going to mention tracks or names or anything like that, but I find that some tracks you find really friendly to go to, and then some it seems like a drunked up atmosphere. I don't know if that's how I should word it, but yeah, I mean, there's certain tracks you go to and it just seems like it's full of yobs. So I think, you got to, it's a tough one really. Like, I think, there's plenty of ways to look at this. To bring more first timers to the sport, it's got to be cheap entry. Well, fairly cheap entry, obviously. Family friendly atmosphere, like Aldershot, for example. How do they see it through social media and facilities? That's a big point actually I want to bring up regarding facilities. So yeah, it's quite a tough one.
So when I originally, so in our little cage chat, when I originally suggested this topic, the reason that made me thought of it is that between myself and my girlfriend, and then a couple of then another 4 friends, I've taken them to stock car racing for the first time. Almost had to twist their arm a little bit to come, and then every person I've taken has then said, "Oh, when can we go again?" They really enjoyed it. I think it's one of those things that. No, it's not just sort of the stereotypical stock car fan. I think anyone would enjoy it if they go. I think maybe like some sort of bring a friend day, if you can, like a first time to stock car racing, get them in half price, that sort of thing. Because it's one of those things it's almost addictive. Like once you start going, you want to know when you're going to go next again. I mean, well, I think us 4 know how addicting stock car racing can be.
Oh yes,
yeah. And that's a very good point to bring up there, James. Plus, for those who go ice hockey in the country, probably hardly any of you really, they also do kids go free nights as well. So that's another idea.
How many promotions have you seen recently that have done kids go free?
No, I mean about ice hockey.
There is a couple. I'm not going to say there isn't, but you don't see a lot of that.
Just 1,000 kids of Mark 1 Granada steering wheels coming through the gates.
They're all potential drivers.
It was no idea though. It was a little thought I put out there.
No,
but yeah, certainly bring a friend days or something. They get half price off or something. I don't know, something like that. It's a good idea.
I think the more novelty meetings, I think they bring a big holiday crowd. Like you got the caravan DDs, got 4x4 bangers, got big van bangers, and God knows what else promotions want to try. But I remember last year it was in the summer months. Down at Eastbourne now the Unlimited Banger World Qualifier. Speedway promoted it as RC cars crashing into each other and all that. And like the more people that follow banger racing knew it would probably be quite a body affair, and with only about 20 cars booked in. And I remember reading that someone actually said that a family was down there on holiday, and they were actually quite disappointed by it because of the fact that
I can just picture that.
Yeah, it's like I think one of the quotes was, "Well, the first time we come to banger racing, we expected them to, bang a little bit." And that, for me, I think says it all, because, this is no disrespect to anyone, but maybe the novelty events are the way to go for certain things.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because one of the meetings I was talking about where I've got people to come with the Garland Nights, and with the Garland Nights, you got the fireworks. It's a big sort of it's a big event, and you've got more entertainment and stuff. So definitely the ones where there's more entertainment around the track as well adds to the sort of atmosphere. Because as we know, there's a lot of events which fill the calendar, which are there for basically for the formulas to get their points for their big events. But the big novelty events, the ones where there's something special like a caravan race or a figure of 8 or something like that, are definitely the ones where the showpiece to get more people involved in.
The one that sticks in my mind most about non-banger people going racing for the first time was the only time I've ever been to Ipswich, which was November 2008. That was for the Garland Night for Unlimited Bangers, and I remember most of the crowd were there for the fireworks. It was packed to the rafters, and most of that crowd were there just purely for the fireworks, not even for the racing, just for the fireworks, for the huge display that was ahead. But
I went to Ipswich Garland Night last year. And it was like, as you say, it was like packed out. And then they put the fireworks on halfway through the meeting. And then after that, it was just like a normal domestic crowd. It was like, like, I was like to my dad, like, you've paid basically 20 quid just to go and watch a firework display. Yeah. I'm like, why don't you just stay and watch the racing? Like, admittedly, it was cold and wet, but I just didn't understand it personally.
And another meeting that does particularly well is the Eastbourne Van Banger meeting, which is on very soon, on Bank Holiday May, on the Monday. That is always a meeting that not only attracts plenty of, I say, banger fans, but plenty of first-timers, because you listen to the crowd that go. When the squad drivers come on track, their big buses, you can hear everyone clapping and cheering, and you can tell a lot of them are people that they don't really go racing regularly, so...
Well, I think the bank holiday meetings are key, because that's like when I was like 5, 6, 7. They were the meetings where I was being taken to as my parents. They were my first meetings. Was the bank holiday meetings at Hensford were the ones that I started to go to, and there'll be like events for kids, like races around running races around the track, things being like free gifts being thrown over the fence and stuff. And I think that's where you sort of capture the imagination of people that are turning up on the off chance at the bank holiday meetings.
Yeah, egg and spoon race maybe.
I think we've missed Easter for that one now, so
yeah, a bit too late for that one. Going back to cheap entry, see, entry prices. This is an interesting debate, really, because as a person, as a person that goes racing regularly, I find the prices. I don't mind, meetings being 16, 70 quid a go. I'm happy going racing as long as they actually, there's crashing going on. I don't really care, but I think it is a good point for it to be, like we say, even if there's an offer in place or something like that. But if there isn't, there's got to be at least a cheap price to get people to go, entice people to get for those gates, I think. Yeah.
And also, the fact that children, when they get to 13 years old, they have to pay full adult price. There's no student discount or
that's the
one
discount. Thing that's always...
Because I know that my mum and dad a lot.
Yeah, because when I... started growing up, and eventually when Speedoff took over Aldershot in 2008, it was an immense shock of when I was 14, 15, and you had to pay a full 15 quid, whatever it was, to get in as an adult. You class as an adult. That's pretty unbelievable, really. And plus, I think
the biggest thing there is about the fact that if you're a family and you've got 2 kids, then you might think twice about going. If you've got to pay for adults in as opposed to taking 2 kids down, sort of thing.
Yeah, this is the thing you'll consider. Like, a child paying full-on adult price is a bit for the sort of average family. It's not on a lot of money. Obviously, it's hard for them to go to any meeting really, let alone go in as much as they can. I'm trying to think what else we can cover. Really, facilities. That's a big point, isn't it? That was brought up with you, Andy, on your Facebook page. Like, for example, Aldershot, which, to be fair, I think it's very family friendly. It's a brilliant track. Apart from the prices, if I'm honest, but the facilities, to be honest, I think they're all right. On a normal day, they're pretty all right. But like a day like Easter
the facilities
Sunday,
are important. I mean, when you get
carry on, you was talking.
Yeah, I was just going to say, facilities are important at any track. I mean, you got to have, obviously, food outlets and drink outlets, and if it's got a bar like Mildenhall and
Fish and chips,
Eastbourne's got, and obviously Arena as well. Yeah, I mean, if it's got all of those, I mean, it's guaranteed to try and entice people to come back. Again, with kids, if it's got an ice cream van as well through the summer months, a sweet store or something like that, as well as the track shops, selling loads of great novelty merchandise as well. That all entices people to want to come back. And obviously, as you say, it's first impressions. When you turn up at a track and you go through the turnstiles and you get a nice warm greeting, you get, a warm reception, you get, nice, polite people dealing with you. You instantly then know that you've come to the right place, you've gone to a good place. And again, it makes people want to come back. And yeah, facilities are important, as long as it's got all the right food and drink, and obviously toilet facilities. If it's got seated grandstands as well, that helps as well. Aldershot, not exactly a good example to that, as we all know, because it's only got one grandstand, and obviously you have to bring your own chairs or stand. So that doesn't help Aldershot's cause at all on that occasion. I'm only using that as an example, because it's one track I know that has got the least amount of seating to
But as another example, even though it was quite run down towards the end, Wimbledon was perfect for first-timers because you had the indoor ground, you had decent facilities, good views all around the track. It's sort of even though at the end it was probably the worst it had ever looked, it was still probably one of the best facilities for the first time. And Hensford, as well, for one of the same reasons. Good view lines all around, big stands, good sized bar, and decent sized fast food restaurant, little stands all over the place. Definitely adds something to it. I agree. It adds, and Ipswich as well. That's why I think Ipswich is the perfect venue for a World Final, because it just feels like a sort of a big stadium for a big event, and with the lighting and the atmosphere and stuff.
Yeah.
Villages around it. I agree with that. The atmosphere at Ipswich on a big World Final night or a big meeting is massively impressive.
Before I forget, can we just... Sorry, carry on.
No, you carry on. I was going to say, especially since Ipswich had the two stands put up, which makes it feel more closed in.
I was about to move on to the comments on our Facebook page, and we've got quite a lot actually going on. Loads of comments, quite long-winded ones as well. So we're going to kick things off with Lee Barnes, and we just want to make this clear. He says Mildenhall £20 adult. That is just for this weekend, isn't it? The Brisker F1 meeting. That is not because of the promotion. That is a Brisker normal price, isn't it? £20 ago. So
yes, it is.
Make that clear before people go on hating, Mildenhall Stadium Limited. That is an average sort of price of Brisker F1 meetings. So that's not their choice.
Can I just say as well, that average price for Brisker meeting, that is because the Briskers get start money and a hell of a lot of prize money, because them cars aren't cheap to run.
No.
Especially the amount that they race. Basically, I think that 3 meetings over Easter, and some drivers, if not most of them, done all 3 of them. So, £20 to get in, when you compare it to the amount that drivers actually spend on their cars, and that, to be fair, I don't mind paying an extra couple of quid for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Dan Clark says oval tracks need TV coverage. I don't know where we stand on that. Will it make the sport, I don't know, will it bring too many people in, or don't we need it generally? I mean, I'm on about Sky Sports. I don't know. Do we need all that or not?
No, because it would turn people away.
Yeah,
it might do. And will it end up like football? Like the price would go up even more, and it just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Would it bring in the wrong people? Yeah. I don't know. Would it bring in the wrong people? I don't know really.
No, I don't think it'll change what sort of people turn up to a race meeting, but it will start making people not want to go to a meeting, because they can just sit in the comfort of their own living room and watch it. And that's where something like social media, like Facebook, where people go live for racing, they don't realise the actual impact it has on the stadium, as well as people that record the meetings, say, for example, Martin Hunt impact videos and APR videos. They're just 3. Obviously, there's many people that record racing as a licensed sport, DVD provider, and it affects their sales as well. And in the end, it's going to end up with people turning up to a stadium where there's only a few people there, because everybody else is live streaming it.
Yeah, true. That's my biggest worry. Like, I do love live streaming and I appreciate it, but I don't know. I hope it doesn't get to that point where people think, because you do see it on Novel Chat sometimes. People even say, it's on whatever you call it, Facebook Live or whatever. So I'll stay at home and watch it, and that's losing the promoters' money, which is a big point I'd like to make.
And then not be the first people moaning when the track's shut.
Yeah, exactly.
I think at the moment we're in a decent balance between the fact that people filming probably aren't stopping people going. If it went any further, then it probably would. So like if we're talking about more broadcasting and stuff, I think that would be the tipping point of when it would stop people going. I don't honestly think that at the moment people recording are stopping people going, because while the quality of a lot of the amateur videos is excellent, I don't think they're probably stopping people going. It's not the same feeling. I think as we were talking before about if there was more like Sky Sports or something, I think that probably would have more of a detrimental effect. And also it would probably take away from the fact that I think everyone that goes to stock car racing feels like they're sort of part of it, and like they own a little bit of what it's all about, sort of thing. And I think if you started to detach people from that, I think it would take away what makes the sport special as well.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. And moving on to Darren Andrews, who's got a brilliant comment here. Spectator-wise, Speedway for the worst. Adults pay, kids pay for a programme. You even pay to sneeze, apparently, at Speedworth, which I love. Absolutely love that. And then moving on to the racing side of it, which we haven't covered yet really. Mike Pullen, who gets 11 likes for this, a fairly well-known banger driver, says, as a racer coming into the sport, unless you have racing already in the family, I wouldn't bother unless you're fortunate enough to have loads of a bottomless pit of cash, basically. And I'm guessing he's sort of aiming that more towards national bangers as well, because as we know, national bangers are a lot of money to race in and take part in regularly or even once. Yeah. And that's, of course, why we have back to basic bangers. That's why, I thought I'd plug that in.
Our favourite word on this podcast is definitely makes sense. And even just, and as the sport as a whole, though, like, if you look at like things such as like mini Super 2s and things like that are also helping to make it a bit cheaper.
I love mini Super 2s. They're amazing. I would love to go in one of them. Pretty cool.
Well, yeah. I haven't actually seen them yet.
No, pretty cool.
I want to see them. No.
Well, you might get a chance one day. But the thing is, though, like, in terms of getting people into actually racing on the track, I'm obviously going to say back to basics all day long. That's the only answer to that one. But let's have a look at any other comments we got on here. Apparently, Tony Holden says Star Tracks do a Groupon family deals and money off vouchers in the local papers around the tracks. So that's a good idea. Let's have a look. Yeah, and Bobby Wildcard says, can't really drop prices as the whole thing will end up out of business. I'm guessing he might aim that at certain promoters or tracks or venues.
But it's saying about going back to the comment of obviously people going live at the meetings, which will then obviously affect the promoters. I think you said, Jordan, that's exactly right, because when people moan, the price has gone up again, it's one of that is one of the reasons why that might be the reason for the admission price going up, is because, before a meeting's even started, someone will already go on social media and go, anyone going live? Go and watch it.
You can support it.
Because when that track is gone, because you can't be bothered to turn up, you'll be the first one to moan. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
because
go on, Andy, get off your chest.
The soapbox has been rolled out, and it's true in what I say, though. They'll be the first ones to complain that the track's shut, the admission price has gone up, and purely because everyone wants to watch it from their computer screens.
Yeah,
but
and I'm going to have a moan now. I'm going to have a moan now. I've mentioned this before. Sorry, James. I've mentioned this before, but Stanlake this year announced a price increase of £3 per adult. I think it's £3. Yeah, £3 per adult from £15 to £15. The uproar caused by it, right? Okay, fair enough. It's £3, which in a year is quite a big difference. But it's a difference in saving the track. It's an independent venue, is Stanlake Arena, and if you've got to pay £3 each time extra to keep the track going and to make it more profitable, whatever, I don't give a damn. Just, I'll pay the extra £3. I know we're going a bit off subject maybe now, but I don't really care. It really annoys me.
But also, the bigger promotions also have to pay more because they're the ones under closer scrutiny for all of their health and safety stuff. Yeah. They have to be the ones making sure they've got everything.
And again, if they suddenly said Stanlake is closing, you got a few months left, everyone will soon be moaning that it's closing. And these are people that boycott the track because of the increase in price. Going back on subject now, Joe Segan, the last comment on Facebook, says, ban Mark 1 steering wheels in anything other than a Mark 1. That is very well said.
Well,
I don't know.
he gets a
Also,
clap
yeah.
for that.
We've got
We've also got the comment from Dave Goddard on Facebook.
Yes,
Let's
we
have a
can't
look.
forget Mr. Goddard.
Yes, we've got plenty of chat going on tonight in our Spreaker feed with Dave Goddard, Adam Seek Brown, and our very own Lewis Parry Magic 208. Let's have a look. Magic 208 says, if I watch Stanlake live, does that mean it will shut? If so, link me up, brah. And the thing is, Magic, would you even get live coverage at Stanlake? Because the signal was so poor there. It'd never happen anyway. There's so much going on, so many comments. Yeah, it's quite a lot. Magic says nobody cares about Arena. Bit harsh.
Whoa.
Like you saying that 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I think we're close.
One more thing on the admission prices is, and this has actually just come from my dad.
Yeah, no, I
If you
saw that.
compare £17 to get into like a Bangor stock car meeting for a whole afternoon or evening of entertainment, how much does it cost to go to a Premiership football game or even a Championship football game for 90 minutes? Probably, I went to watch England the other night, £50 to watch a football game in England as well. It felt like they should pay me at the end of it. You know what I mean?
One more comment.
Honest.
I've got one more comment I quite like, and it's from Magic 208, and he says whenever he's introduced people to Banger Race, and he's took them to the National Banger World Final at Ipswich. So
Good man.
With the walk around the pit, to the racing and the spectacle of it all, it's the best way to introduce them to it. That's quite a good idea. I quite like that.
Yeah,
actually, that is a good idea. Yeah.
That's a good way to think of it. And I think we're going to, after that, 25-minute row over over getting new people into the sport, I think we're going to close it there.